Hello everyone, welcome back to Tetris. Today I wanted to look at that pesky bug that we don't have a game over situation. So obviously if we just run this, then eventually when it all stacks up to the top, the blocks are just going to keep popping in on the top, which is obviously not how the game works and not how we want. And then they do this weird, like the rows fill up, or it thinks they do, and then they drop out. It's not pretty. So what this needs is collision detection, and then on failure of that condition, then game is over. So that should be, it's simple in theory. Is it going to be simple in application? I don't know. So the way to do this, or the way I'm going to attempt to approach this, I should say, is, so we have a board. Where do we do new block? Shape, nope, game, start, pause, new. Does the engine do it? Board.new block, increment block count, board.blocks 0, move down, board. The other thing that I need to look at is board.block. So let's go to board, and we've got blocks as an array. And originally I had an idea for this, but it's not going to work with that idea anyways. So I'm going to go through the difficult task, which my IDE, will handle a lot of that for me. So I'm going to switch this from blocks to block. And it's gonna, I'm sure, throw a lot of complaints at me. Oh, no, okay. And it's no longer an array, so this I'm gonna have to do manually. So block is just gonna equal an empty object, or, it should just equal nothing at the beginning. And so now I'm going to do a find for the word block. And every time I see one that has an array on it, then we're going to remove that. So we're doing a little bit of refactoring, but this is good. So we're going to block, and oh, this one's going to be bad block. Let's just do block with, okay, well, it's not one there, that's good. What about shape? No. What about game? Game's probably going to have something. Aha, yep, here. So we can just remove the array of 0, or the first item in the array, because it never really ever was an array, to be honest. So, and then anything in here? No. Okay, so we've just done a bunch of changes, obviously, and it's time to test it and make sure we didn't break anything. Let's just check this file. Block. Yeah, nothing changed in there. Okay, so we need to confirm that we're still working. I don't know what I did there. Okay, so let's confirm we didn't break anything. So we run. Why does it open up over here every time? Okay. Refresh, new game, and that's not a good sign. Cannot read property for each of undefined. Okay, let's click at board line 30. Board.js line 30. board.js line 30 here. Self.block for each. Okay, we don't need the for each. We just draw. Self.block.draw. Okay. Then, where else are we having issues? Cannot read property draw of undefined, line 30. So, can't read draw of undefined. So block is apparently undefined here. Because it hasn't been defined yet. So if, is the game actually running? No, we're getting undefined is not a function, and then engine line 39, undefined is not a function. Board.js. I think what I need to do here is if self.block equals null, then return. That'll protect us against that error. Oh, and now we've got things working. Oh, no we don't. So board line 31 is self.block.draw. So block, after, it looked like after the block hit the bottom, right? Check blob, check blob. So I don't know, was it collision detection? We can find out if it was collision detection by running into a wall. Okay, it's not collision detection. I think it's when we switch to a blob. That's probably it. So, does the engine do that? I'm trying to go back and remember. Start, pause, resume, tick clear, auto block move, board.block move down board, board.new block. If board.block equals null, then board.new block game incoming count. Okay. So where do we assign it to a blob? I think it is in the collision detection actually. But it's the collision detection for that particular scenario. Here, okay. So, collision return, blah, 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 for row in board.blob. If not board.blob row, no. Is it the move down? It is, it's the move down. So, if self collision board, self shape here, board block equals an empty array. We just say it's equal to null. And now, potentially, it should work. That's a weird. Why does it do that? So we've introduced a new bug. Because I think it's in our draw function. If there's not a block, we don't draw, I think is what's going on. because if we pay attention, right, until we get a red one again, they all disappear. And then as soon as we get another red one, it's on the screen, and then another red one. So we can only see them when there's a red one on the screen, apparently. So that makes me think it's in the draw function, and one of those protections I just put in there caused another issue. So self.draw. Where was that? It was what? Board line 30? Ha. So we're not drawing the blobs because... So what we really need is if block does not equal null, then draw the block. Else, continue to draw everything else. Okay, so we flip back over to here, run new game, and we'll just place that down, and we're back to where we were. So game's back to normal. So a little refactor caused some problems, but in the end, we got it working. So the next thing to do is the plan for this video, which was, that's an interesting, we'll have to figure that bug out. I think all I did was refresh, I think, or did I, aha, well, you can't pause an empty game. Wow. We'll have to figure that one out too. So if the game's not running, you can't pause it. Otherwise, that's working pretty well, actually. Except while you're paused, it's still going to speed up. Man, look at all these bugs we've got now. Okay. I don't know why that happens. Okay, so here we are. What were we doing? So we need collision detection on block entry. So when we create a new block, we need to detect collision, and if it collides, it's game over. So where is it? Engine, I think, that does the whole, aha, new block. So what we need to do is detect collision. So we need to fake it, right? Because that's how it all works. Well, actually, we don't really need to fake it. We could just do board.newBlock. Actually, we're calling a function on the board. So let's go to board and look at it. New block. Here we go. And then we immediately call self block collision to self, position being x for x or y 18 coordinates self.shape.coordinates. So we need self.block.shape coordinates. Alright, so that's going to return a Boolean. So if it's true, game over. If then game do we have a reference back to the game object from here? We need one if we don't. Okay, so game, does game create a board? It does create a board where Here, new board. And we need to pass it the game now. So board is going to have a reference back to game. So function game. So self game equals. No, I don't even need that because. Okay, so now we can just call game dot game over. Alright, and now in our game object, we can create a new function called game over. Okay, so on game over, we want to pause the game. So we will call self.pause. It's not even on self, it's just pause. Except it's more of a permanent pause, and the pause button shouldn't work anymore. So, well, we do want to do this. Is game over. So I'm creating a Boolean value here to not allow continuation of the game, which I guess you could just click pause and it would just continue to jump back at this. But it's very possible that if you did it enough, something could complete, and we don't want that. We don't want something to complete. So if self.paused and self dot is game over. So if the game is paused and it's not over, then allow the game to resume. Else, don't allow the game to resume. It's just going to not do anything. So self.pause, and then now we could do self dot $box dot append added a div with a so $box dot find because I want to find the paused item. Okay, so now we have the paused item, and now we're going to append to it a new paragraph tag. We'll start with a paragraph tag. We'll figure it out. .html game over. We'll see how that looks. Alright, and then basically when the game gets restarted, we need to make sure that we undo this. So self if self dot is game over, which, no, well, actually, don't we create a new box and everything? We don't create a new box. Have we tried that? If we create a new game and we pause it and we click new game, aha, Yeah, we get issues. So that needs to be fixed. So a couple things we need to do is self.isGameOver equals false. Self.paused equals false. Self dot box dot find div paused remove and then it's going to create a new engine and a new board and everything. Okay, so let's see. With our new changes, what happens? First, we're going to test if we pause a game and click New Game. Okay, it looks like we need to destroy the old board? I'm confused. How many boards do we have? A lot, apparently. We have a lot of rows here. Box. We can just say box.empty. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So we'll do box.empty. And we'll just clear everything out of the box altogether. Just nothing in it. It's gone. So new game, pause game, new game, pause game, new game, pause game, new game. Good. Okay. Now, game over. Does it work? We shall see. And we get some errors. Undefined is not a function. Board line 27. So we go to board. Oops, I'm going to close that. Board line 27 is our game.gameOver. Did we call it something different? I didn't put it on self. So self.gameOver equals function, which happens to also be called game over. And now, new game. Let's see if I can get this to stack up a little faster. And game over. Look at that. Okay. So this is great. We now have the game over logic working, and we're not supposed to be able to unpause it, and that's what I was talking about. Like, we don't want that to happen. It should be pretty much when game over happens, it's game over. So we will fix that in the next episode. But good work today. So I will see you guys next time.